Hi, you're listening to Abacadabra Radio. I'm Abby, your host, and on this podcast we talk about manifestations, meditations, timeline jumping, tarot card insights, astrological insights, literally whatever comes up. Happy to have you guys here for the ride. Why, hello, my friends. Here we are back with another episode. And yeah, I'm just recording this on a really, really hot Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. On a whim. Sometimes I get ideas for podcast episodes and I just kind of have to stop everything and do it. And I am really grateful, and I have like a flexible enough like work schedule that sometimes I could take 20 minutes to record a podcast episode and then listen back to it while I am doing my job. Like literally can do it here. I don't really take lunch breaks, so this is like a lunch break. Anyway, today, I don't know if you can hear my stomach growling. I say lunch break and then my stomach growls. I can't. Anyway, so yeah, if you can hear that, I apologize. But today's episode is about living from the inside out. Have I done an episode about this? I don't know, but I want to kind of like dive into it a little bit because you can do some really magical things in your life just by focusing on yourself, which sounds selfish, but it's really not. Like self-work is the best thing that you can do for yourself. It really is. And living from the inside out and being conscious about like yourself, like your view of yourself is like the most important, because your reality is you pushed out. Remember that? Like I talk about it all the time. You got to live from the inside out. You are the antenna and you are the receiver. So whatever you put out in the world, it's going to be reflected back to you. Whatever you consistently, vibrationally, whatever put out is going to be reflected back to you. There's going to be a lag, and the buffer time between how fast it is reflected back to you will have to do with how strongly and consistently you believe in something. So that's why stuff that we've had ingrained in us since we were kids is less of a buffer time. So when you like look back at like your age from like birth to like 7 years old, there's a lot of stuff that we have subconsciously ingrained in us as children. How did your parents view money? Was it easy? Was it tough? What was the beauty standard at that point? Like things like that matter. I can't remember if I talked about that on a previous podcast episode or if it was just in a TikTok, but I guess it bears repeating since I'm repeating it. So pay attention to what happened in those years, because that might give you some insight on what you might be on autopilot reacting to, because your subconscious beliefs are the autopilot of like the beliefs that you are emitting at all times. So like you could see money or have an opportunity of money, but you might have a subconscious belief that money doesn't come easily and you have to work really hard for it or you won't get it. And that will that could cause you to like push against things, or it could cause the reflection back to be different than how it starts, or like, I don't know, people who have, there's a lot of money blocks that people have. And I think one of them is that you have to work really hard for money, or that you have to, or that it's just not easy to come by, or that like you can't get over a certain threshold of money, when that doesn't necessarily, like it doesn't, if you can work on that belief, you'll start seeing more money flow in, you know? I digress. So back to like your self-concept and how you view yourself and how you live inside out, living inside out. What does that even mean? So how do you view yourself? Truly, how do you view yourself? Mirror work, journal work, very important stuff. When I started my spiritual journey when I was like 18, I realized I was literally afraid of my own reflection. and I was terrified of photos. There are like virtually no pictures of me in high school because I was so scared of the camera, because I was so insecure of how I looked, and it was a process. But in doing mirror work and in starting to like really work on old beliefs that I had, I started changing how I viewed myself, and it did change how people perceived me, because when you change how you perceive yourself, it absolutely will change how other people perceive you. When you see yourself as like a fun, happy, energetic person, like my little sister is the bubbliest, funnest, like most amazing human, and she sees herself that way, and she's not cocky about it, but like she's a joy, and she does give that air about herself that like she knows she's funny, she knows she's fun, and other people love it because that's a fun person to be around, and like she emits that frequency and people return it to her, and like that's just, people call her like Sunshine Sammy. So shout out to you, Sammy. You won't hear this, you never listen to this, I don't even know if you know I have a podcast, but I know a belief that I had like worked with a lot when I was younger is that I wasn't pretty because I have curly hair, which is so stupid. But I remember even telling my like sister as I got older, they don't like me because my hair is curly. And she was like, that is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. Are you like, can you hear yourself right now? That's so stupid. But growing up, I instilled the belief that I wasn't pretty because I looked different. My sisters both had straight hair. I was the curly hair, blue-eyed, really, really pale kid in the family. My sisters had like straight, beautiful brown hair, brown eyes. They could get tan. And my older sister's gorgeous. My little sister's gorgeous too, but when you grow up and your older sister's like, everyone always is saying how beautiful your older sister is, it gives you a complex, and I really leaned into that for a long, long time. It took a long time for me to work on it, but I don't view myself that way at all now. Like, I love my hair. I really do. I love my hair. I love the way I look. I'm proud of my body. I'm really grateful for it. And when I started shifting those beliefs, and it takes time, it's not instantaneous. You really do have to work at it every fucking day. And affirmations can help, but they also can't if you don't believe them. So you have to start small. Your affirmations have to be things that you believe, or they will do nothing for you. If you don't believe an affirmation, like truly in your core, then you could end up subconsciously auto-correcting it to something that you've been believing for years, and then getting some sort of like not reflection that you want, you know? So when I was younger and I realized like I can't even look in the mirror, I used to just practice standing and looking at myself in the mirror, and I tell myself like, you're enough because you're here. And I believed that enough that like that was an affirmation that stuck for a while until it upgraded to like, you're the shit, or like people like being around you, or like you are magnetic, you are someone people like to see, you're someone that offers value. Like those are things I say about myself now, but I can also go a step further. Like there's always an opportunity to level up. But it was when I started shifting that self-view and my self-concept that other people's concept of me changed for the better. I was the most angry, negative, bitchy person as a teenager. I was content to be that way. And I think a lot of people viewed me that way because I came off that way. I just was. So then when I started I remember when I started shifting that like fully and like just kind of 180'd and became a different version of myself. And you can do that at any time. And when you do that, you're going to see the outside change too. It's going to be gradual. It probably won't be instantaneous, but it can happen. And you can take control at any time, and you can do, that at any time. So keep that in mind. I guess this is sort of like main character energy, living from the inside out, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'm just like totally on autopilot, like asleep to everything, and just not taking ownership for the stuff that's happening. and not enjoying or taking the time to enjoy what's going well, and not taking the time to like kind of hype myself up and enjoy things for myself. So if you notice that you're doing that, you might have something happen like a car accident, I don't know, to wake you the fuck up again to your own power. But a hack that it's not my hack, but affirmation hack for the affirmations that you truly believe. When you get ready in the morning and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, say these affirmations to yourself. Say the things that you want people to tell you. Say the things that you truly believe about yourself that you want to hear someone say to you in the day as you get ready. Like, if you believe you're a freaking epic person, tell yourself, I am freaking epic. I am here. I'm enough. I offer value. Like, I am able to get through any scenario. I am magical. Like, whatever feels right and whatever really feels resonant in you and whatever you want to hear reflected back, try saying that to yourself in the mirror and like watch yourself receive it and watch yourself. Like, you will change your energetic makeup. And it, like, literally when you change the way that you view yourself, you change the way you look. And you don't have to do any outside work. You don't have to get any sort of work done. You don't have to work out. You don't have to, I mean, I do work out and I get my hair dyed and I do makeup and all that stuff, but you don't necessarily have to do any of that stuff. And just by changing the way that you view yourself and the way that you like exude energy, you will change the way you look. People will see you differently, and it like in a good way. So another thing to kind of like branch off of that is when it comes to relationships and people and it doesn't have to be romantic relationships, but this will probably come up in mostly romantic relationships. If you feel like you're not getting something from your partner, you really have to ask yourself if you are giving yourself that too. Like, are you giving yourself the care that you would want someone to give you? Are you telling yourself good things? Are you kind of doting on yourself? Are you taking yourself out? Are you, giving yourself time and like space? Are you like to do whatever? Because if you're not, or if you're noticing something that like you really truly want to have your partner give you and they're just not, you really got to check and dig in and say, am I actually giving myself this? Like, am I giving myself this love? Am I giving myself this praise? Because when you start doing that, it's going to reflect back to you. So keep that in mind too. And you don't need other people to give you that validation. It feels good. It feels great when people say you're awesome. It feels great when people say you're nice. It feels great when people say you have value. But if you truly believe that you have value and that you're lovable and that you're a fucking epic unicorn, guess what? None of the outside stuff is going to matter. You're not going to need to hear it from anybody else because you're going to just know it. You're going to embody it and you're going to be it. And then that's when it's reflected back to you and it won't matter. But if you can self-source that support, that emotion, that love, that like you literally, that's the key to conscious creation. That's the key to living inside out. Give it to yourself first. You have to give it to yourself first. And even ask yourself, am I afraid of this? Am I afraid that if I receive all this love that I'm going to lose it? Am I afraid that if I receive this money, I'm going to lose it? That is a big question to ask yourself, because I think a lot of people are concerned that they can't contain their manifestations. But guess what? You manifest it once and lose it, you can manifest it again and again and again. And you'll just keep doing that. So if you're looking for more something from the outside, give it to yourself. If you want people to love you, you have to love yourself. And then if you can't get there, then you've got to dig into like, why do I feel like I can't accept this love? Why do I feel like I can't accept this feeling of worthiness? Because you are literally a piece of everything. You are a fragment of life, creating life. You are a fucking badass. You're here, and that's enough. And that's like, you don't have to to be anything specific to be worthy. You don't have to be anything specific to be loved. You don't have to be any certain version of yourself. You just have to be. And that's enough. And sometimes I'll like let myself zoom out on just feeling like I am a piece of the universe, and like let that like really expansive, epic feeling just kind of like permeate my body. And it feels very open and expansive, and I love that. And then I'm like, what do I want to receive? Like what feeling feels best right now to receive? And right now, as I'm recording this, it's love. I love that feeling of love. That like cozy, fun, like comforting, safe, easy feeling of love. It's just nice. So you can do that every once in a while. You should do that every once in a while. Like living inside out is really not that difficult when you truly get down to like, okay, I am energy, my thoughts, my vibration, like that's all energy, and it all just bounces back to you. Like, remember when we had that comeback when we were younger that was like, I am rubber and you are glue. Anything you say bounces off me and sticks back to you. That's literally like, reality is the rubber, you're the glue. Okay? You're everything's sticking back to you that you put out there. So keep that in mind. And when you have conflict with people, those things that irritate you about them the most are potentially things you got to check with yourself, because that might be things that are about you that are being highlighted, and that's tough to kind of come to grips with. And that's not something that you could just easily move into of like, oh, this person who's super freaking annoying, those are aspects of me that are being highlighted because I need to work on that. And you don't have to go down that rabbit hole right away, but just keep that in mind, that it's you pushed out. And the things that like bother us the most are usually things within us that we're not paying attention to, or that are trying to come up so we can transmute that energy. And when you do transmute that energy, that's when you have a big shift. Like I've noticed it's when I've come across like very difficult people for one reason or another, very difficult situations that you just want to get out of. It's when you really face them and allow yourself to look within and see what's happening within. I mean, go listen to my I Manifested a Car Accident episode if you want a kind of how to move through contrast. And that's when the big shifts happen. It's like almost like a final boss moment, except we never have a final boss because we are our own final boss. Damn, these insights today. Didn't expect this. So let's live inside out. Let's be obsessed with ourselves in a good way. Let's hype ourselves up. Let's feel fucking good about ourselves because we're here and that's enough. And you don't have to do anything extra. Okay? Okay. I love you guys. Healing requests? I don't know. Reading requests? Manifestation, discovery calls, things like that, all can be sent to abacadabrapod@gmail.com. I'm putting I'm putting the email in the show notes. And until next time, this is Abby, signing off.